What's going on today, guys? We're going to be doing some work on my Talon. Now, I've been driving it for a little bit now. Took it to a show yesterday, and on the way back I started getting this howling sound, which is a bad wheel bearing, unfortunately. Yeah. It's my first time ever doing a wheel bearing, but inspecting the axle nut, it looks pretty nasty. Yeah, should be an interesting process. I'll take you guys along with it. Alright, to attempt to crack this guy loose, I'm using this Ingersoll Rand Impact. Now, this thing's a beast, so hopefully it'll take it off. We'll give it a shot here. The size I'm using is 1 3/16 inches, which fits perfect. Actually, let's do this first. It's kind of hard to do this in one hand. That goes on there. Goes on there. Ooh, comes right off. Like I said, I love that thing. It's a beast. There's the nut. Looks kind of nasty, but threads look okay. So, alright, next thing we're going to do is we're going to loosen all the lug nuts and take the wheel off. Alright, now that we have the wheel off, it exposes my big brake kit. It's a 13.5-inch SV2 Cobra Mustang rotor, a 3000 GT VR4 4-piston caliper, solid caliper, solid mount, no floating pins, and an RTM Racing bracket kit. Costs about $400, $500, somewhere around there. It's pretty cheap for a big brake kit. But yeah, let's dive deeper into this guy. I'm going to take off the caliper and the bracket along with the rotor, and hopefully I can get this pin off, or this hub-centric spacer for the rotor that you get in the RTM kit, and hopefully we can dive deeper into this thing. Pro tip, when you take your hardware out, put it right back where it goes. And another thing, when you take your caliper off, hang it up here on your upper control arm with some wire, and then you don't have any stress on your brake hoses, and then that'll make things a lot easier. You won't rip anything, you won't cause any leaks, and you'll be good to go. Alright, I got my caliper hung up here. Another tip, if you're gonna do this big brake kit, you can use the stock hoses. You just have to use a file and flatten this surface perfectly smooth, and you just use some cut down banjo bolts with new crush washers, and you'll be fine, and it won't leak. Alright, got the rotor off. Funny tip enough that that ring actually stayed right in the rotor, which is kind of nice. But yeah, here's that bracket I was talking about. Make sure you paint these when you get them, otherwise they rust. You can see it kind of started up here, even though mine were painted. So yeah, right here you're gonna be able to tell that this is a bad bearing. You just take it and you can shake it all around. It doesn't have any play in it that width-wise, but also don't be alarmed about the rust. I live in Upper Michigan, and yeah, new cars rust within like a few months. So yeah, it kind of sucks, but everything still works, so whatever. Okay, what I did next was put the nut back on this upper ball joint. You gotta make sure you do that. Put the nut back on and then beat it out. That will give us some movement here, and then what you want to do is take your tie rod nut off and pop that guy out. This is a brand new inner and outer tie rod, so I'm not going to have a problem getting that guy off, so it should be pretty. Okay, next thing is you're going to want to take out your both your lower ball joints. Yes, there are two. Now, Mitsubishi kind of did a dumb thing, and there's not enough room to get the nut off completely. But you can get it off the threads, you just can't get it out between the ball joint and the CV. It's kind of dumb, but whatever, we'll keep moving. Okay, now that your tie rod and upper ball joint are out, you're going to want to put your CV nut back on by hand, and then beat on it with a sledge just to get it loose. Now mine actually came out, which is surprising because they didn't come out when I swapped my transmission. But oh well, I'm not going to complain. Okay, now that your upper ball joint, tie rod end are out, and your lower two ball joints are loose, you want to wiggle this guy enough till you can pound this guy through and out. It's a big, huge pain in the ass, but whatever. The point of doing all this is to get at the back bolts of these hub assemblies. There are 4 of them, and you can. The whole point is to get to these 4 bolts that are back here. You'll see them. They're all 11/16 size. They're all easy to get at. You just have to use something to put in the slot here, and just so you can turn it so you can get it all the way to the CV and shit. It's not too bad. And then what you want to do is just beat on this until you can see it break loose. You can see I got mine broken loose already. And then just use a screwdriver and a hammer and it should pop right out. And then assembly is just the opposite of this disassembly, my bad. And you just put it back together and you're done. And that's how you change a wheel bearing on an all-wheel drive DSM, front-wheel drive DSM, doesn't matter, they're both the same. And thanks for watching, guys. Okay, I got it out. Those are the 4 bolts. You'll see them on the back. Check out the play in this thing. I don't know if you guys will be able to see it on camera, but see that? That's not good. Especially when you're going fast, it's really not good. Another quick tip, before you put your hub assembly back in, make sure you thread the bolts in first. Otherwise you're going to have a hell of a time trying to get them to line up when it's in there. Another quick tip is to grease the actual, I think it's called the lateral arm, or lateral link. Or yeah, this guy right here. Just put lube in there, put some grease in there. Same thing with the splines, so you won't have to have rust welded CVs like mine was. Yeah, and you should be good to go. Just put it all back together, and yeah, it should be all done. Thanks for watching, guys, and I hope to see you in the next one. Subscribe, like if you haven't already, and thank you so much, guys, for all the support, and I will see you in the next one. Okay, guys, there you have it. It's all back together. I'm just gonna throw the wheel on and drop it, and we're all good. Just make sure you tighten this guy down, also your tie rod and both lower ball joint nuts. Make sure you don't forget that. And this guy, the torque spec, I don't know it. I'll have to Google it and put it in the description. But make sure you torque it, otherwise things might fall apart on you, and it's not good when it does. Hope you guys enjoyed. See you later.